Hey folks, welcome back. We're starting up a new game of Humankind. This time we are going to be playing on 4 continents. We had a little poll on the channel, and that's what we decided to play by a narrow margin over 2 continents with chaotic generation. It's pretty standard settings for 4 continents, this 50% land percentage. I did turn off New World, so there will be 2 players per continent, and we're on a large map, and randomizing competitors as always. So let's get started, and I'll see you soon. Alright folks, here we are at the start of the Neolithic, and off the bat here, kind of an interesting start. We don't see any curiosities. I know there's a river down here, which often contains food, so we're going to head in that sort of direction. Just 1 tile at a time, no need to rush it. I'm going to move along the high ground. There's some forests down here, which cost movement, right, to move through an extra movement. So it's quite inefficient to go that way, so I'm going to stay up here. In general, there are kind of a few rules in the Neolithic. One is that food is more important than the curiosities when you can find that, when you can find the food, right? The second rule is that you want to maximize your movement as much as possible, right? That's how you get efficient outcomes, so to speak. So if you have the option of moving in the direction where you're using 1 movement per tile versus 2 movement per tile, or all your movement per tile, like moving onto a river, right? You want to take the most efficient movement possible. And let's see. I think I want... The reason I'm moving this way is I'm a little more interested... I'm just going to use all my movement, so I'm going to get on the river here. So that's kind of an example of no matter what direction I go, movement's a little bit inefficient, but you do want to try to maximize it. And finally, you also want to make sure that however it is you move, you want to try to maintain high ground, right? If you can. Obviously, you aren't going to be able to do it every time, but you do want to kind of get onto the high ground where feasible, because that allows you to see more stuff, to find more curiosities and food and all that sort of thing. So we're going to go up here, get some vision, and we're just going to hop back onto the river. I'm not worried about the science curiosities. I still want to get my food. Actually not a bad starting location. Wonder what it looks like up there. 10 food and 17 production. I think maybe we'll head up in that direction. There aren't any luxuries in this territory that I can see. However, that's not necessarily a problem. Can I attack from there? I can. Let's kill this deer. Let's see if... I feel like the deer no longer come to you. You actually have to go to them. But I may be misremembering. I do feel like that was kind of a change that was made at some point. Okay. So as I was talking about with the luxuries, it's not necessarily a problem if your first province doesn't start with luxuries, right? Because when you build the extractors, it increases the cost of future districts, right? You have that that scaling cost on districts. The more you build, the more it costs to build the next one. So by not having the extractors in your main city, it actually keeps the production costs lower on your different districts. So I'm going to go for astronomy. Science is by far the hardest output to generate at the start of the game, and that's when outputs matter the most, right? At the start of the game. Let's see who's still available. Carlins are still available. I'm not sure who my pick is this game, to be honest. Unfortunately, I don't have, like, great coastal tiles, right? The Phoenicians could have been an option, but, like, looking at the starting province, this is mostly deep ocean, which doesn't really generate me any outputs. The Sumerians are new. They're diplomatic. Let's see. So this would help with the science in some ways. The thing is I'm on 4 continents, right? So I'm not going to have met very many people, so I don't think that's a very good option. Assyrians, Babylonians would probably be good. Egyptians, possibly? Let me remind myself who my other options are. Mycenaeans could be okay. I played the Nubians last game. Olmecs, you get +3 influence on territory. I feel like that's a bit of a struggle. Because I'm not going to have... I'm more confined, right? I feel like last time I did a continents-style game, Bantu aren't great because I'm more limited on territories on 4 continents. Maybe I go for, like, the Assyrians. I feel like that could make for a somewhat interesting game, at least. I don't play them very often. I mean, I could go for the Olmecs, though, right? I feel like maybe that influence generation, right, is still useful at the start of the game. And when I could only have one opponent on my continents, sort of the disadvantages of the javelin thrower aren't as big of a deal. Question is, do I want to go up right now, or do I want to give it another turn? I think I'm going to give it one more turn, just in case I can generate some more food here. I'm going to go for a +2 food on City or Outpost this game, just because I'm a little low food in that city. I think it's 10 food, and with 12 I can actually support an additional population without needing farmer or infrastructure or anything like that. Okay, no extra food, unfortunately. That's okay. So let's go up as the Olmecs. I know it's a bit of an odd choice, but I have been wanting to play them. They kind of got a buff since the last time I played the game. They do generate a little bit more influence now. Okay, and we'll go ahead and evolve the city here. So we're going to go for a pottery workshop first. 8 food there. So I lose a little food on the river here, but I do need to develop my industry first, is really my priority. I'm just gonna instant resolve that, which I don't normally do, but it's fine. Okay, so let's start getting a little gold. And normally the Olmecs are a little bit better with like an extended ancient, right, where you claim a bunch of territories. But I didn't really have the luxury to do that because I didn't have enough scouts. And the reason for that, right, I'm kind of getting back in the groove of commentating a bit. The reason for that, right, is that the Olmecs have this +3 influence on territory, right? So the more territories you start with, the more influence you're getting at the start of the game. We can go for calendar, I suppose. This will be a good area to increase my production, and actually that's making me rethink this Maker's Quarter. Because what I can do is the first outpost that I settle can be over here, and this can be an attachment, and I'll build the Maker's Quarters off that outpost. So I'll use this territory to supplement my production. Forgetting how much it costs for my first one, I need 61.
Come over here. Follow me. Off we go.
A lot of rivers in here. Would have been a good area for the Harappans had I discovered it earlier. That said, I have played a lot of the Harappans, obviously. They're a very strong culture. Okay, so make sure my guy's in position to found an outpost in the not-so-distant future. Just trying to explore and get a grip on where things are. We are going to want this territory as well, specifically the saffron, because my emblematic quarter is a... Go for distribute or collectivism for that extra production. But my emblematic quarter, the Olmec heads, are a farmer's quarter. I do think I may have made a bit of a mistake going up too early. I should have waited to found another outpost right here, because it's much lower influence cost. Though that said, I probably would have needed to kill a mammoth or something to get it, but... Alright. I'm gonna go right here, I think. Not only is it the best sort of outputs, but it gives me a good anchor to build Maker's Quarters in this direction or in this direction. So let's put the first guy on industry here, and I might consider putting the second one on science. Okay, some animal remains. And let's use Cultural Blitz for 270 influence, now that we have enough gold to do it. So that's going to speed me up in terms of getting my additional territories. Irrigation is going to be a bit of a slog to research. Do I have horses? Way up here. It'll take a little while to grab those. Let's go for carpentry, just so we have the javelin throwers available, and the lumberyard will be quite strong in this territory here. And also claim a wonder if we want. One's already been claimed. Let's think about what would be good. It's a pretty rare day I can go for Stonehenge. I don't really have the industry to support building a wonder this early. How much is it going to cost me? 124? I don't know. I feel like the wonder is just not as important as claiming territory earlier in the game, especially as the Olmecs, because I get increasing returns the more territory I have. And this has some nice luxuries in it, specifically the dye. I'm not as worried about the coffee. Coffee's not my favorite. Let's go ahead and get the porcelain so we start making some gold. What would be a good settle here? This is more of a... This is definitely not a territory where I'm going to found a city. It'll probably get attached later, so I'm just going to go for some food output there. Okay, and let's go ahead. Now that we bought out the porcelain, this is going to increase district cost, but we're going to start work on that Maker's Quarter. Probably makes most sense for the Olmec head to be on the river here. I will lose some industry output on that river later, but I can get some decent farmers' quarters adjacent to that later. That'll help me with my influence output a little bit. Let's see. This looks like a pretty decent territory down here with all these rivers for getting a city. So let's do a little bit of exploration there. I could also stand to get another scout, honestly. Put you on industry as well. Let's see. These are all directions I don't want to go. We'll go for this one. There's a possibility that I can use this extra faith on territories. I can't use it right now, but there's a possibility I could go for it in the kind of short term later. Okay, by that Maker's Quarter. Scouts coming up. I need the scouts to start getting some territories up here. Let's see what I get here. Science and influence, very nice. Okay. That might be a decent city settle there. There's ebony in that area. Okay. We're going to start working on irrigation. And yeah, let's do that. I know it's going to take a while to get to irrigation. I'm going to go ahead and just get both of these luxuries. Not really struggling for influence at the moment. Okay, let's see. So I feel like this territory here gives me kind of better options. I do really want the reduced claim cost civic, and you need a certain amount of pop for that. I might hold off on claiming those kind of distant ones for a minute. These ones that are a little closer aren't going to cost as much. These ones cost quite a bit of influence, though. So I'm just going to hold here for a bit. But kind of claiming the center of this continent, or a more central area, will give me a leg up on my opponent later in the game. Okay. Doesn't change the time to build the Olmec head, so I'm going to go on science. Let's see. I do want a decent spot to build the Olmec head if I attach this territory. We'll go for that one, I think, and build the Olmec head here. You know what, it's going to be a while before I claim that, so let's go exploring. Okay. Five industry from that. Only 6 industry from this one, huh? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and buy the Olmec head. I just want to start pumping that out as quickly as possible. I just want all the outputs I can get as soon as I can get them. Go ahead and found our outpost there. Can I get this down to 1 turn? Probably not. If I can get a pop in 1 turn, I will put some people on farmers. I generally don't think farmers are worth it, but there are some situations where they can be quite good. Okay. Okay, we can use Cultural Blitz again. Go ahead and get some more culture. Let's see what wonders are available. Pretty much all of them. There's a part of me that wants to go for Stonehenge just because I never get it. Now, that said, I do think the Olmecs have a little bit better capacity for religion just because of their influence generation, and they kind of naturally have somewhat higher pop with the Olmec heads. That said, it's lower value this game, right? Because I only have 1 neighbor, so it's a lot harder to spread religion. Could go for the Hanging Gardens. Hanging Gardens is a pretty good option in pretty much every game. Could put it on something like the Dye or the Saffron or something like that, and then I get the wondrous effects. Temple of Artemis is also pretty good, to be honest, with that health regeneration. +2 combat strength on it has ranged attack. I didn't realize that was an effect. You know, let's go for Temple. Let's go ahead and claim that. I feel like that's a new effect. I don't think that used to be there. $156 there, 106 there. So like that reduced. I think I get it next turn. I think it's like 6 pop in your entire empire, and I believe that includes military units. Doesn't seem like it. Okay. Go on industry. Can I get this down to 1 turn? Or 2 turns, rather? I cannot, regardless of how many I have. Plus 22 food would be amazing. Can I get that down? Okay, that's 7 turns there. I think that's worth the trade-off. Writing would be very good for the +1 science per researcher and the reduced cost of civics. Animal barns doesn't get me much. Okay, let's start with city defense, just because warriors are pretty fundamental, and I will encounter another player eventually, right? Let's see what's down here. Curiosities can be very, very good. Okay, so my opponent's down there. I think I'm going to go ahead and claim this territory. That is quite good. 10 food and 18 production on a starting tile. It's very strong. Yeah, let's claim that. It's quite expensive in terms of influence, but that's okay. Turn 27. I feel like this is a very slow game for me. That's kind of the name of the game when you play Olmecs, so it's just how it goes. Okay, got a warrior from that one, which is nice. I do like getting free units, especially at the start of the game, right? Because it allows you to expand a lot faster. Okay, now go ahead and buy the saffron first, since that benefits my Olmec heads that I've already built. I'll buy the papyrus on the next turn here. See how we're doing on Aerostars. Not great on any of them is the answer. Okay, finally got this. So we're going to go for... I'm thinking about doing the faith on territories, but let's go for the reduced create outpost cost, and we'll save founding myths for a minute. Should really probably go for the influence generation, honestly. Okay, so wonder here. Forgot what that does. Sensibility on +3 industry per worker on city. Wow, that's quite strong if you get that early in the game. And it's strong throughout the game. Okay, 160 to convert that into a city. Okay, let's keep exploring. I'll let that finish naturally. The production will carry over into the next unit. Domestication for 0. Yeah, I want to go for writing to get my science output up. Okay, we're going to go for +6 faith on main plaza, I think. It'll take a while before I can equal that kind of generation naturally. So I'm going to value that early faith output, even if my cities might get larger later. So we'll grab that ebony. That's going to increase my production by a fair bit in my main city. And then we're going to save up influence for my city here. In retrospect, I probably could have saved the influence from the cultural blitz to get my first city up. But what's done is done. Or my second city, rather. This is a pretty late second city at turn 30. This isn't even my second city yet, right? My second city will be like turn 35 or 34 or something. Okay, so those guys are still wandering around there, so note to self not to wander in that direction. See, only 5 industry on the lumber yards. Get 8 food there. It's not terrible. I don't need food yet. Let's put one on science here. Let's keep getting our industry up. Really just going to rely on the Olmec heads for now to generate my food.
Follow me. Come over here. Over this way. Let's go.
Really like to find out who this is. Carolyn's, okay. And they're almost going up an era as well.
Come over here. Off we go.
That's really annoying. There was no chance I was winning that fight, so I'm just gonna instant resolve. Okay, so flood irrigation coming out this turn, which will increase my food pretty dramatically.
Nope. Come over here. Over this way.
Kind of at dead end there. A bit. Just loops around.
Follow me.
Okay. We're not going to worry about the embassy at the moment.
Okay. Follow me.
See what they want. Luxuries. You know what? For now, that's fine. Oh, they have silk. Yeah. 165. Man, that's expensive, but it's worth it. It's going to be a while before I manage to kind of confront them, I guess, right? I'd prefer to secure my own continent. Then we can kind of play a little bit more diplomatically with some of the others, if we so choose. Well, yeah, I might be forced into a conflict a little bit earlier than I hoped. If they're going to expand like that. Yeah, need to save that influence for my city. I'm not going to go after that readout there. They're just going to make their way back with their current units and attack my scout if I do that.
Come over here.
Grab that curiosity.
Follow me.
Let's see. And maybe masonry would be good. The stonework should be alright down here. I do need domestication. It's a pretty basic tech. I'm also going to need organized warfare, right? So bronze working is a little bit more of a natural lead-in to that. Let's go bronze working. Actually, no, we'll go domestication, bronze working, organized warfare. So domestication will open up some options with horses once you have access to those. Okay, let's get the city up. I think we're going to start with a maker's quarter. Olmec heads will be a little awkward in here. We'll have to find a position that makes the most sense. Well, let's go to that one. Hopefully I get another free unit. That would be great. What do I have left? Aha.
I'm on it.
Forgot about the scout, honestly. Oh, that used all my movement for some reason.
Only in the mind's eye. Yes.
So did that.
Over this way.
That's weird.
Off we go.
Okay, new civic. Leadership. Definitely going for the city cap. Also, I forgot about founding myths, which we need. Going to go for the influence on main plaza. Think about obelisk. Put someone on science. Actually, let's go on expert policy here, and then we'll move a couple over to science. There's a part of me that wants to put my first holy sites down here. It's kind of out of the way somewhere. Like over here. Because that'll put more religious pressure on the other player. So I think I'm going to do that. Free unit? Boo. Give me free units. Okay. We're going to do Cultural Blitz again. Get 270, 330 there. gonna go ahead and just claim this territory here. Kind of cut them off a little bit. I want to try to box them in as much as I can, because I want as many territories as I can get. I'm also going to go ahead and grab a javelin thrower here. Let's take you off food. Actually, you know what, we'll leave you on food for now. Let's get 2 population in here. Gives me a little bit of flexibility in terms of being able to produce some units. 315, 216. Prefer an area that has some options with the Olmec head. So like if I put it right here, if I do Olmec heads on the rivers here, they at least benefit from adjacency to each other. So if I put one right here, and then I'll put the other one up there. And San Lorenzo. I'm going to use this javelin thrower to kind of claim some of these tiles that I'm sitting on up here. Okay, free unit, very nice. There's leverage lying around. Can't really collect that at the moment. You can go ahead and make that demand. Okay, they've blocked my trade routes now, that's fine. I know I'm not really in a position for war. Did they accept it? They did. Interesting. Very interesting that they accepted my demands there. Okay, let's go ahead and get these guys together. I want to start picking off some of their units. If we could stop them from getting another city up, that would be great. Okay, army composition. I'm going to go for the +1 combat strength on units, I think. That also gets us that +4 influence on emblematic districts. Now that will hurt our stability a little bit, but it's not really a big deal at this point in the game. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to want this horse up here. That's fine. I can always move that outpost later, right? So I'm not worried about placing it super efficiently at the moment. Okay. Make sure we get that incense. Grab that papyrus. It'll help our science output a fair bit. How many people can I scoot? Okay, I have 3 people on science there. That'll do, and we'll grab the House of Scribes after that, I think. Which will continue to help us with science. All right, so there's bronze working. Got a scientist star. I feel like there's probably not a great spot in here. Guess up there is a little bit better. Develop faster. Okay, grab that porcelain. What's this? Bears against warriors, huh? High ground too strong. Send them back to heal. These guys can take care of this pillage. Okay. I'm going to go for Defiant because it moves me towards Liberty, which I want for that extra influence generation. I'm already at the max, but the farther on that axis I can be, the better. Okay. Put you on Industry. Go ahead and attach here. I'll have to rethink maybe putting that Olmec head there. That might make more sense in the long run. Let's Let's go ahead and finish that obelisk quick. Okay, definitely solar. Let you heal. And of course they found an outpost here. Okay, it's a low health scout. Okay, so I'll pick this curiosity up and then start sending the javelin throwers down to the south. Someone's gone up as the Axamites. Okay. This deer could get out of my way, that would be great. Thank you so much. Okay, religious rites. Yeah, the reduced religious district cost would be nice. I believe that applies to Temple of Artemis as well. 11 industry there is quite good. And I think I got the expansionist stars. Yeah, okay. Nothing on the militarist stars yet, which is a little unusual for me in this era. What's my deployment zone look like here? Okay, their flag is in the back on the area that's not river, so I'm not going to take that attack. There's no way I can get an advantage on that. Go ahead and buy that copper there. That'll let me get a forge in my cities. How many turns on Cultural Blitz? 4 more. Oh, did I think I hit instant resolve accidentally there. Okay, let's grab masonry. What am I doing on? Yeah. This is one of the problems I have with kind of aesthetes in the Ancient. You can claim a lot of territory, but I do find it quite difficult to get all the aesthete era stars. I'm actually going to take people off science because I'm generating science quite quickly at the moment, so I'll get through all the tech before I've accumulated all the different era stars that I want. Could also think about getting a market quarter. That'll help me with my money generation a bit, which might boost me up to the point that I can maybe think about getting 1 or 2 of those stars. Aha. Okay, let's put you on the high ground. It'll cancel out the river. You don't need to do anything with the scouts, they can just sit around. Okay. Get that marble. Get that gold. Some of my javelin throwers down there. I do feel like perhaps the Assyrians would have been a little bit better. Definitely want flood irrigation in the city. Going to be very good. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like the additional influence gain there is quite nice. So Pottery Workshop, and then the Olmec head, because I am going to be looking to era up soon, so I'll lose access to that. And up in San Lorenzo, we're going to finish the House of Scribes, and let's get another javelin thrower. This is the only city really positioned to be making military units at the moment. part of me that wants to go for Fanatical for the Faith output. The logical choice is to go for Science, but I'm already quite far along the tech tree relative to where I want to be for my other stars. So let me explain what I'm thinking in a second. Okay, I'm going to go for Fanatical. I would almost always take the Science, but the thing is I'd really like to generate the 3 aesthete stars, which can be ridiculously hard to do in the Ancient Era, and I think one of the reasons the Olmecs can struggle a little bit. But I want to get as many of these stars as possible before I era up, and if you're thinking about efficiency of outputs, it's really bad to continue on in an era when you've already finished all the technology that you can research. I'll probably get this guy. So sometimes you actually want to slow down your technology a little bit. And that's what I'm going to do in this case. Go ahead and buy out these districts. We'll also open up the possibility of animal barns, which can increase my food output a little bit. I think the play, though, is going to be to work on temple, perhaps. Though maybe I want just an extra javelin thrower, honestly. Let's get the extra population, because I think I'm going to need to start building military here soon. Am I on... I only need 2 more gold for that. I need, like, 426 more influence. That's, like, 5-ish turns, I think. See if you can find that warrior that retreated. We can't. What's the most efficient path there? This way, apparently. Go ahead and drop a claim here, since it's on my way. Also some bad guys coming to get me. Maybe grab a warrior in here quick. That's what I was talking about earlier with perhaps needing to produce some military units in that city. Ten industry would be nice. I'd really like to work on temple as well, though. Wouldn't be a terrible spot for it. Getting a lot of adjacency from Faith, and it's not really disrupting much in terms of adjacency, just because it's going to be adjacent to largely these extractors. So I'm going to put it there. Yeah, okay, a lot of stars. Okay, there they go, pillaging. I think I should be able to handle it with what I have available.
Let's go.
Let's see. If I take this guy out, I'm gonna grab this discovery here and just let that warrior finish the pillage. And on tech, let's grab the wheel so we can get an envoy. We're gonna wait over here, and we can do cultural blitz again. Where are we gonna get the most? 390 there. 390 there, yeah. Okay. And I don't think that counts towards the stars, it doesn't. It'd be a lot easier to generate era stars if those counted towards the influence stars.
Off we go.
Yeah, we have plenty of time to get up there. Okay. War declared. Kind of an odd time to declare war, to be honest. Also, they're the aggressor here, right? So they're going to lose war score over the course of the war. Good thing we built these units. Kind of had a feeling that was going to come eventually. go ahead and attack these guys. Don't want this to pillage, obviously. Kind of keep the scouts off the front to the extent we can. We'll put them right here. So the reason I'm going to put them in the center here, it's a little counterintuitive. But actually, let me think about this. This is all high ground. Okay. So what I was going to say is, if you had deployed like this, there's only one avenue of attack on these scouts, right? Which is through the center. So it seems a little odd to have your lowest combat strength unit in the center. But this is actually not a great deployment pattern because they can attack me from high ground here, right? Whereas this setup means they're always attacking me from low ground and potentially from the river. Now the chariots can get around to attack my archers, but it's going to be from the low ground. Let's see. Do I actually want to attack that? I think I'll do one attack from each of my warriors. Just end the turn. Okay, there we go. Easy battle. I want to think about maybe attaching another... Let's see. I'm going to send this guy on a little detour here. Okay, 20 gold. I'll take it. Let's see who's been chosen. Carthaginians, Axumites, and Han. No one I was really interested in playing, to be honest. I guess Axumites would have been perhaps okay this game for me. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and disband these scouts as well, so we have more population here. One more turn until I have all the influence stars. Okay, I do have more javelin throwers coming, so that'll fill out that army. I would like at least one more warrior, I think. Let's grab that. Okay, last tech. See if we can get these militarist stars before I want to end the era here. Now that there's been war declared, it should be a little bit easier. I also want to think about if there are any other territories I want to attach, because there are going to be... I'm going to lose access to the Olmec heads, right? Not that it's like... It's definitely not an amazing district. So it's really not that big of a deal if I don't have very many. Could also think about founding another city, to be honest. Like this one right here, honestly, wouldn't be a bad city. Would let me expand out this way. Whereas San Lorenzo can, like, stretch up that way, right? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Because what'll happen is I'll be a little bit more confined in terms of the amount of space I have for cities, right? So I'm going to have to fit more cities on fewer tiles than I normally would. So I'm going to... Sorry, have a slight distraction here. So I'm going to go for slightly more condensed cities than I normally would. Alright. Okay, so we can get tenants. We have access to everything except for Smite Unbelievers. Be Virtuous as Water would be really good for me this game. Respect the Sea's bounties. You'll notice my coastline is not ideal for harbors. There's a lot of deep water and a lot of, like, single tile areas. What you want for harbors is stuff like that. It is a good tenet in a lot of situations. I don't think it's the right one for me this game. Oops. I think I'm going to go for Be Virtuous as Water. That's going to solve a lot of my stability issues for a lot of the game. So we'll take that one. Okay. They have a real army.
Let's go. Understood.
One I should be able to handle. Let's see. And now, do I want to attach this? I think I do. Now that I've kind of solved my stability problems. I think I'm more likely to build farmer's quarters here. So let's go ahead and get a turn of production into that Olmec head. And here, actually going to get us, we'll get a warrior, just so we can claim territories. Mayans have been taken. That is the one thing about delaying your era up, right, is that it's quite a bit harder to get the cultures that you want. Okay, there's a demilitarized zone, apparently. By that harbor, okay. It's actually really obnoxious that they did that, because that's kind of blocking me. So we're going to position myself to kind of intercept them and bring in reinforcements. Another civic available, independent people. I don't think I need to spend influence on that quite yet. It's not a priority for me. Some money, just in case we can get another star. I don't think we can, but you never know. What would be the most natural attachment here of the ones I have? I'm thinking in terms of if I want another Olmec head. I don't think it's that important, but... yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. Religious tolerance. We could increase the influence. I do like having the grievance. Forget what... this increases food, right? However, this is going to give me combat strength right as I'm going into combat. I'm going to go for religious hostility for now. I can swap back later. Okay, let's manual battle here, obviously. I'm actually going to go like this to start. I know I'm leaving this high ground area open, but it's going to make it very difficult for them to attack my javelin throwers on the first round of combat here. I think we'll get... yeah, I should get my Militarist Era Star if I manage to clear this out on this first round. So I have an Ambusher here, because I'm stronger on forest tiles. So I'm going to absolutely crush these guys. Okay, so I can't fire over. Did I get Ambusher here? It doesn't matter, I can't shoot from there. Let's go here. And I'm actually going to move these warriors off to the high ground here and move the javelin throwers up. Let them take care of that guy. Then I'm going to kind of move up. So there are two districts here, which means theoretically... oh no, because they're in different... this isn't an attachment. So in a city, normally you can move across districts over an obstacle, a terrain obstacle. In this case, it's not going to work, but it's okay. Take those warriors out. should mostly take care of those archers. There we go. Okay, pretty simple fight there. There's a militarist Aristar. I don't think I'm gonna get more than that. Yeah, and I have no more tech, so I think I need to go for the era up. Let's think about who we want. Let's see. Nazca could be interesting. I don't play a lot of the Morians. This could be a possibility as well. So the problem I have with the Morians, I do like them, especially the Samnahaya. The reason I don't pick them very often is that it's hard to have enough influence generation when you pick them that you can actually achieve your era stars. I won't get good use out of the Goths. I was thinking about maybe playing the Goths if I played like a Pangea mount. Played the Garamantes plenty. The Celts, I think, are another option for me here. But I don't think my cities are going to get super large, right? So the Nemeton's not going to be as valuable as it would be because I'm going to be more condensed on my cities. So I feel like the Morians might actually be a somewhat reasonable choice here. Let me make sure there's not really a chance I'm getting these other stars. 3 more population. I don't know. At 33. Buy that harbor quick. And this one, while we're at it. Actually, let's see. Let me count this up really quick. So I have 8, 11, 15, 19, 21. Yeah, so it does count the stuff in the outposts already. I wasn't sure if it did. I was thinking maybe if I like attach one of these outposts, then I could get it, but those are already counted in that population. Is there anyone growing in the next one turn? It doesn't look like it. So I'd have to get all my cities to grow. Is that worth delaying? It's 300 fame for that. I don't know. I feel like I've had an okay era. It would take a lot of turns for me to get down to their city down here. It's kind of an issue. Okay, so let's go with... I suppose the Greeks are an option too, aren't they? But I hardly ever play the Morians. So let's... I say that as if I play this game all the time. I used to play this game all the time, and I don't really play the Morians that often. So I'm going to go ahead and pick them. That'll be my choice. I have lots of influence. Now, influence does become a somewhat redundant resource later in the game, but having a high influence output will let me get a lot of grievances later, right? Because I'll have a really strong culture. And the stupas here are going to help with both my faith as well as my science output, which will be quite nice. Oops. Yeah, I'm fine with losing a little bit of food potential from that. -2. Let's see. We'll go for the -2 food. That's not as important as 2 production. Just going to queue up a few of these, I think, and then we'll kind of end the episode after this turn. Rather not lose that river tile. We'll go up there. Spawn industry here. Can scoot some people back over to science, I think. We'll set our next tech. I think I want to go for hydrology first. I suppose standing army may be necessary for the swordsman. Yeah, let's get the swordsman and then go into hydrology for the artificial reservoirs and watermill. That's going to be very good on my empire. I have a lot of river. There's a unit here. Go ahead and take that guy out quick. Alright, and that'll be that. So, we'll enter the classical area as the Morians, and just FYI, I am away over the weekend, so I won't have the chance to record, so it may be like middle of next week before we get to episode 2. But we'll get started in the classical era then. So thanks for tuning in. See you soon.